we're talking about. If you allow your emotions to run amok, you get really demotivated. But here's the things to ask yourself if something comes up, and just reflect in general on self-regulation. How do you react to either positive emotional stimuli or negative emotional stimuli? How do you typically react?
Yeah. And be honest with yourself.
Yeah. Is it good? Is it bad? Do you react quickly? Do you ponder a little bit? And different behavioral styles would tend to react a little bit different. Some behavioral styles, you're very contemplative, very high S. They may want to sit there and think about it a second before they react. Some high I or high D, very outgoing, very direct type person might be that boom, 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 and they react right away. Great.
Dave, another thought to keep in mind too is we can ask ourselves these questions. And if we're really brave, let's ask the people that report to us or our colleagues, how do you see me responding in these situations? Just ask for some honest feedback with the understanding that it's going to help you be a better person.
Yes, because sometimes you're not even aware of how you react. Well, I don't do that. Well, yeah, everyone's like, yes, you do. I'm not like that. Well, yes, you are. Because you're not even aware of it, because it's such an automatic reaction. You're not even conscious of it anymore.
Yes.
So another question is, how long does it take you to calm down after something good happens? And how long does it take you to calm down after something bad happens? Because we can get just as distracted, just as much off purpose when something good happens and we're bouncing around and everything. We just had a big win, but are we able to stay on task and stay on focus? And same thing with something bad. How long does it take for us to calm down after that happens? One of the best examples I've ever heard of from a structural corporate type of viewpoint is I remember listening to Mark Cole from the John Maxwell Company. He's the CEO of all of John Maxwell's companies. And I loved hearing them talk about the 24-hour rule. And it might have been 48, but I believe it was a 24-hour rule. That major win, major loss, doesn't matter. They win a huge contract, they do this, they do that. Major win, yes, let's stop the bus, we'll celebrate, 24 hours, we're high-fiving, whatever. Next day, nose to the ground, we're back to work.
That's right.
We lost a team member, they left, they quit or whatever. We had something that went bad, some whatever, stinging defeat. 24 hours, just acknowledge it, stop, mourn the loss, whatever. And then get back to task and move on, because it's easy to fall in that trap of something good. Hey, we're awesome, we're great, we just did this wonderful thing, and then but you ride that and then you become complacent and you never continue to improve. So the good in a sneaky kind of way could be almost as harmful as the bad, or you can start dwelling on the bad and just really go down a poor road. But I like that kind of 24-hour.
Sure. And Dave, I should bring up to you there, to our listeners here, and to acknowledge it. You bring up a great point, and not ignore it. I've been part of organizations where when someone was asked to leave the company, there was no discussion about that person after they left. At the next meeting, it was like the white elephant in the room. Where's Joe? We all know he got fired, but how about processing it a little bit? The president would just move on, act like it never happened. That's not what you want to do.
And maybe the wrong analogy, but the way I look at it is it helps them kind of mourn the loss. Even if everyone's like, Joe needed to go, or maybe it might be one of those things that, what took you so long to get rid of Joe? My God, the weight's lifted off our shoulders. Why did it take you so long? And you're kind of like, you're thinking, oh my God, I had to fire Joe. It was awful, blah, blah, blah. Then you get there and you're like, we're mad at you because you didn't do this 6 months ago. I mean, it's just a big one. So either mourn the loss or acknowledge that, hey, this is a good thing, and be able to go on. But yes, the acknowledgement's a big one.
That's right.
Okay. So I had two more questions. One, when change occurs, how does it make you feel? Is change easy for you? Is change hard for you? And a lot of that goes back to behavioral styles. What's a natural propensity? Not what you've developed over the years for skills on how you've been able to adapt and overcome that. Just kind of natural baseline tendencies, behavioral styles. I mean, change, does it make you, is it good? Is it easy? Is it not? And then the last one, if you were able to control your emotions more effectively, just think that, okay, well, I got the self-regulation down. I got the self-awareness down. I'm good, right? I'm on it. How would it impact your decision-making ability? And that's the one thing I wanted to kind of the last question I wanted to leave as a business owner is, if you were able to control your emotions much more effectively, how would that impact your decision-making ability?
Wow. Powerful question.
Yeah. Just something to think about. I mean, it's a lot to it. I would recommend, finding out, where are you at in all these? Self-regulation, self-awareness, where are you at with your levels of emotional intelligence? Where can you work on? Start looking at these questions, start asking some of them, just reflect on it a little bit and figure out, how much better could my team be? Could my decision-making ability be? Could our organization be, if not just myself, but my leaders around me had much higher levels of, and we all kind of were working in that realm of trying to improve our emotional intelligence. And so the one thing is, we talked about these pieces being in sequential order. So obviously you have to have self-awareness before you can self-regulate. And self-regulation leads to improved motivation. And we're going to talk about motivation in our next one. That is one, for the assessment tool that we use, that is one specific item that was inserted, and there's reasons, but that was one of the things that's a little bit different than Goleman's model out of the book, where he had 4 different ones. This one adds a little bit different twist, but it still goes, I like how it goes in kind of a sequential order. So self-regulation leads to improved motivation, and that's what we're going to talk about for our next episode of this series. So what final words or thoughts or ideas you want to leave the listener about self-regulation?
Well, I think the main thing is that to be aware of it and know that you have control over it, but it's a process, and it's a skill that we all need to develop.
Yes, absolutely. So with that, thank you all for watching Business Smarts Radio with Tom and Dr. Dave, and we will see you in the next episode when we're talking about motivation. Take care.